I have another video I'm going to record literally after this one, but I wanted to make this a separate video because this is a thing. You know what kind of channel this is. You know what kind of fan I am. When this shit was announced today, you didn't think I wasn't going to say nothing? Did you think I was just going to just No. Remakes of my favorite generation. I don't even remember the official titles. I remember one is called Alpha Sapphire. I forget what the other one is called. Omega Ruby, I think. The point is, remakes of Gen 3, and we're 90% sure that the cover on the box are the Mega Evolutions of Kyogre and Groudon, or Kyogre. Not totally sure which name is correct. I think Kyogre is the correct name. I'm just lazy, and I used to call it Kyogre. Now, for those who are curious, why is Gen 3 your favorite generation? Well, it's the first generation I actually actively pre-ordered. See, as I said, I started with Gen 2. I didn't start with Gen 1. The anime, I started from Gen 1. You know, I watched the anime straight. But I didn't get the money. I didn't get the actual games until Gen 2. And then while I was waiting for Gen 3 to come out, I was spazzing and like, oh, I need something to play. And then I went back and I played Gen 1. So for those who are curious, I have played all generations at least twice. Gen 3 I've played 3 fucking times. Gen 2 I think I've only played... No, I played twice because my sister had gold and I stole her gold version because... You know how siblings are when they want to borrow things but they're not into them, they just want to have it because you have it kind of shit. That's what that was. And then Gen 1 I think I played red and yellow. I don't think I've ever played crystal, but at this point it's irrelevant. I mean, I played gold and silver. Anyways, so I got my Game Boy Color, got Gen 2. Gen 3 was announced. I was like, yes. I went to Best Buy, and everyone pre-ordered at Best Buy, you know you got this little coin with either a Kyogre or Groudon in it as a pre-order bonus, and I got that. And when the game came out, I played that thing. It's somewhere in this room, actually. Maybe it's in here. Yeah, it is. I have all 3 generation games still in their cartridges. Because I am a fanboy of Gen 3. So, in a second, I'm just pouring it out. I got fire red in here too, but I'm not trying to get fire red. And there's silver. I'm not looking for silver. Ruby just fell to the bottom of the barrel with this shit. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the ways I obtained Ruby was not the most legitimate. I'm not gonna get into the details. Let's just say I'm not proud of how I got Ruby. But Emerald, I actually did buy it legitimately. See, that's Sapphire. That's Ruby. And then here's Emerald. I still own all 3 cartridges. Gen 3 I think is the only generation I own every single game in the generation. Because I don't own it all for Gen 4, 5, or Gen 6 currently. But Gen 3 with that shit. And I think at least each one of these at the very least has clocked in about over 100 hours. I know Sapphire specifically I have clocked in a shit ton of hours. I did not give a fuck. I think the only thing I have not done in Gen 3 was the Battle Frontier, particularly because it confused me. I was like, we're doing repeated battles. I'm like, how do I get to the fucking Frontier brain? And I didn't understand how to do it, because that was the first time they introduced another kind of tournament after the main story. Gen 3 brought a whole bunch to the fucking table, and I'm so glad Gen 3 will be the first Generation 6 remake games. The reason why I say that is because Generation 6 is all 3D and shit. Which generation would have been the best representation to show off how good the graphics have gotten? Well, considering Gen 3's whole premise is the whole nature, the obsession over nature situation, you know, the fire, water thing, earth and water thing with Kyogre and Groudon. This is like the perfect generation. Plus that there's a lot of fucking different weather effects that happen in Gen 6. You have the desert. You have, I think Gen 3 at this point has the biggest ocean area you can get into, which is a yay or nay situation depending on who you are. The only problem I'm going to have is I know that Gen 3 was like the second worst HM hell game next to Gen 4, which was just flat out stupid as shit. But the whole point is Gen 3 was like one of the best games you could fucking do a 3D version of, because it was pretty much set up to be that way. With this heavy emphasis on nature, you're going to fucking volcanoes. There are areas where the shit, you have ash falling from the sky instead of rain, which is the only fucking time I think that's ever happened. You had the desert area, which you needed the different types of bikes to go through. Oh god, it was cool as shit. You had all these different dungeons and caves to explore. A lot of the areas were interconnected. Like if you went from Mauville City to the left, past the daycare center in that other city, and you went into that cave where I think you could find Whismer. And if you went out that cave and went out the other side, you end up where the first Roxanne gym is. I forget the name of the city. Mauville, the only reason why I remember that is because you drive through it like 6 times. Like you go through it the first time, you can go to the left, you go to the right to get to the 6th gym, to fight Winona. It was a really big, expensive world. You felt like everything was connected. Shit was cool as fuck. You could find quick shortcuts to get out different ways. Like if you went over there where I was talking about, where the Ash area is, and you kept going, you hit the city, and then you kept going down. And I think that was where the research facility was, when you met the PC creator of that generation. And if you went into that cave, you could find Soul Rock and Lunatone, and you went down the stairs, you ended up like, I forget which city you end up in, but you end up in like another damn city that I think it actually might be Roxanne City again. I don't think it is, but I can't think of anything else that's over there. Flannery's gym was the same way. Flannery was I'm not gonna lie, the whole shit with Flannery was a tease. If anyone remembers, if you're going up the mountain, what is it, Mount Cornet? I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. You went up the mountain, you could actually see Flannery's town and gym like to the left of you, but because you had these fucking ledges, you couldn't get over there. That was such a damn tease. You had to go all the way around to get to it. It was rough. Gen 3 is so good, and it also has some of my favorite types, like fucking Swampert and Gardevoir. Fucking love Gardevoir. Medicham. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Exploit. I love Exploit. Exploit was cool as shit to me when I first saw the damn thing. Actually, Gen 3 has some of my favorite starters too, because Sceptile was G-Low. That's the starter I started with for Gen 3. It was just a lot of shit. The only thing Gen 3 really kind of faltered on was the same problem with Gen 2 and 1, which was the fucking enemy team. Team Aqua and Team Magma. It was like, yeah, there's 2 of them, but it really didn't make that much of a difference. Not mad at it, just saying. So we got our Gen 3 remakes. I'm hyped, but I do want to address one thing. Someone on Facebook had messaged me going, does it feel like Pokemon is starting to become like Call of Duty, having a new game out every year? And to an extent, I can understand why he would say that, considering you have, I think, ever since Black and White 2, like I think there was a gap between Black and White 2, but it was only like a year or so. Like, yeah, because Black and White came out in 2010, we skipped 2011, and then we got the announcement for Black and White 2 in 2012. 2013 was X and Y, and then 2014 is the Ruby and Sapphire remakes, which I'm not inherently mad at, considering most of them are using the same engine. It's like Gen 5. I mean, if you went Gen 5 to Gen 6, you already know they were working on Gen 6 before they finished Gen 5. But Gen 5, I even made a reference to how Gen 5 didn't last that long. Gen 5 lasted maybe like 2-3 years. Yeah, it lasted like 2-3 years. It was ridiculous. It is starting to get ridiculous to an extent, but it's Gen 3 remakes, and I don't have a problem with that. I wouldn't mind if they took a break next year and didn't do what we think they're going to do, which is essentially an Emerald version for X and Y, which would be Pokemon Z. I mean, they have the Pokemon in the damn game. The difference is that for Gen 4, they had Giratina in... I think Giratina only appeared in Platinum, whereas in X and Y... to do a Pokemon Z, Zygarde is already in X and Y. There's no reason to do that. But I guess we should talk about hopefully some new. I am curious if they're gonna keep the whole Mega Evolution thing stuck in Gen 3, because it's kind of, it'd be cool. This is just a fucking prospect. It'd be cool if every gym leader could have one Mega Evolution. I'm just saying. Now, granted, that means you would have to change their teams up a little bit. But Roxanne needs a damn change. I would like to see a Mega Torkoal for Flannery. I think for... we already have a Mega Manetric, so you could do that for Watson. Who am I missing? It was Roxanne. There's someone in the middle I'm missing, and I can't think of their name. Because I know Roxanne was first. Oh, Brawly. Mega Machamp, maybe. I mean, that'd be a cool prospect. I mean, or Mega Hariyama, one or the other. Mob, and then you have Flannery, and then you have maybe Mega Slacking for Norman, 6 Winona, which would be Mega. I probably would say I want a Mega Swallow because I like Swallow, because Swallow I think needs it more than Altaria, considering Altaria is a fucking dragon. But whatever, Mega Swallow, Mega Altaria. Then you had the twins, so Mega Soul Rock and Mega Lunatone, that'd be cool. Or give them some other Pokemon. I think they don't they have an Alakazam, or am I being stupid? I'm not sure. I think they only have those two. But that's just me. I might be wrong. It's been a minute since I played Gen 3. And then 7, and then 8 was, what is his name? Wallace. Wallace or, oh God, what's the dude in Emerald? He has a Spanish name, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. Roland, I think. I may be wrong. Roland, I think is what his name is. Actually, a Mega Warlord would be ridiculous. So probably like a Mega Walrein would be better for that. But yeah, I think this could work out pretty cool. And maybe just streamline some things, because I feel like a lot of people feel like the X and Y was kind of taking it safe route for the games, which made sense considering there was a new generation. They were kind of like, we got to be able to translate everything into 3D, so they were kind of paranoid. So we're like, okay, this was a little test run. Doing the remakes will give them a lot of fucking experience. Like, you'll get a lot of experience of how to do certain things in 3D. Because Gen 3 has so much shit in it, it's insane. Gen 3 to me felt like the biggest world out of the games. That's just me though. Because everything felt interconnected. You could end up in like 6 different fucking places. I like how you could surf almost in every area and end up in like some other goddamn part of the goddamn map. It was ridiculous. It was awesome. That's just did be. Oh God. But yeah, that's just kind of that's just my thoughts and everything. I'm excited. I'm hyped. I do kind of hope they do take a break just for a little bit, particularly because you're gonna Pokemon everyone out with this shit, and that's not what you want to do. The joy of Pokemon is taking casual breaks, or else Pokemon turns into Mario and people rage internally. But then again, Pokemon doesn't have 16 spent. Oh, never mind. Pokemon Snap 2, anyways. That's just my thoughts on everything. So, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you hyped for Gen 3? What would you want them to change in Gen 3? This is like off the cuff reaction, so I might have other things I might say later. But first, we need a fucking trailer. All we have is this, oh look, fucking game's coming out. We have no graphics or anything, which makes us rage. We'll probably get that for E3 though. They're probably announcing it now so they can show off just footage in E3. Which now we know in terms of 3DS is fine. You got Smash Brothers in the summer, you got Pokemon in the fall. We're good. They don't even fucking need anything else. Granted, I want some other things, I'm just saying. Anyways, this has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.